Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast, Inside Polling. Happy Halloween. If you got little kiddos at home, enjoy the night. I know I'll be out and about. It's here in Connecticut. It's going to be 80 degrees. Well, it is 80 right now. So it's going to be a great fall night. Enjoy it. Take a little break from politics. Get that out of your head, right? It's always good. Yesterday, we had a good day. We rolled through the map. Today, we're going to do something different. We're going to go through some comparisons of 2016, 2020, and 2024, where we stand in the battleground states. Before I get to that, let's get to the polls, and I'll rocket right through these. We've got quite a bit. We did have a Fox poll that came out late last night, and a New Hampshire poll also that came out late last night after I did the podcast. So let's get started. Michigan, I've got a Washington Post, no poll before. We've got Harris +1. Another Michigan. This is from MNS Mitchell. They had Trump +1. They have Trump +1 now. Remember, this is Michigan. So a tie and a tie there. No movement. Another Michigan poll from Fox late last night broke. It was a tie. It's a tie again. So here we go. If you're a Harris supporter, 3 polls settling in. No movement on any of those polls. We go to Pennsylvania. I've got 2 polls for you in Pennsylvania. UMass Lowell contacted me, said they came out with the poll today. Harris +1 stayed at a Harris +1. That is in Pennsylvania. No movement. Fox came out. They had it as a tie, Trump +1 now. So a movement of Trump towards Trump in Pennsylvania on a Fox poll. Trump +1 in Pennsylvania. We go to North Carolina. I've got 2 polls. UMass, no poll before, has Trump +2. Trump up by 2 in North Carolina. A CNN poll had it as a tie, now has Harris +1 in North Carolina. Okay, so that's a movement towards the vice president by 1. CNN had Harris +1 in North Carolina. 2 polls in Georgia. Rasmussen had Trump +3, now has Trump +5. Right leaning, be careful. Trump +5 in Georgia, that would be a huge number for Trump. CNN came out with a poll. They had no poll before in Georgia. They now are showing Trump +1 in Georgia. Arizona, Rasmussen had Trump +2 before, Trump +2 now. The polls in Arizona are going away. You notice not many Georgias, not many Arizonas. New Hampshire, UMass, early today had Harris +9 before, now has Harris +7. Remember, this is a state that Trump would like to go to, possibly get to, not on the schedule yet. We talked about how important the 4 electoral votes could be there yesterday. Remember, Harris wins the Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, the blue wall. She wins automatically. Doesn't matter what happens in any other states. It comes down to 3 states. She holds, it's over. Okay? Remember, we talked about New Hampshire. That's why I'm mentioning it. If New Hampshire ever went to Trump, it would be a shocker the way that it's moving the opposite way. Trump could win New Hampshire and Harris could win the blue wall, and it would be over. Trump would win with that formula. Probably not going to happen, but I did want to throw that out to you yesterday. New Mexico. We talk about Trump being there today, actually. A Rasmussen poll. So this is a right-leaning poll, right? You're going to expect a big number. No, Harris +5 there. So if Rasmussen has Harris +5 in New Mexico, you got to think, right? You got to think that's going to be a hold for the Democrats there for Harris. Good number for vice president coming out of a right-leaning Rasmussen pollster. The TIPP daily poll that we've been tracking up, down, back, around had Harris +1 over the weekend. Harris +1 coming in. It's dropped to a tie. Okay, so they're even Steven with just a couple more days to go here. Senate polls. That's it for the states. Senate polls. Washington Post in Michigan. Remember, it's a Democrat seat. They did not do a poll there before, and Slocum has the Democrat is up by 3. Slocum up by 3 in Michigan. Another Michigan poll from Mitchell Research had Slocum up by 4 before. now has Rogers. This is the first poll. First poll in the Rogers camp there, Republican. Rogers taking on a Democrat. It's a Democrat seat in Michigan. Has Rogers up by 2. Now, Mitchell Research, this is a Republican website, a Republican poll. I just give it to you because it's important because Rogers breaking through there. Is it a real poll? Is it just a right-leaning poll? Pennsylvania Senator. This is a UMass poll. Casey, the Democrat Senate seat was +9 before. Now Casey +6. So there, we've seen Harris lose a little bit in Pennsylvania, right? From 2 months ago, a month and a half ago. But here, we had a big number for Casey. UMass had him at +9 Casey, Senator Casey, now down to +6. Not big enough. Not a big enough poll that I'm sure McCormick there, very disappointed to see this poll. Arizona, Gallego, the Democrat, holding the running for Democrat Senate seat and trying to hold, goes from a +2 to a +4. Okay, so remember, Lake is going to go down there, and that'll be the end of her political career there. And they should never have been nominated for the Arizona Senate. Big mistake for the Republicans there. On a time when Trump's going to be on the ticket, wrong candidate. I'm going to take you through some early polls, just some voting, just to give you a quick update of where we stand. Nevada, Republicans, the Democrat ballots came in last night, ate away a little bit on the Republican lead, not much. Republicans still have a 42,000 vote lead. Real votes, I shouldn't say that, just Republicans have a 42. That doesn't mean they voted for Trump, of course. And of course, we don't know about the Democrats either. But Republicans have come out, 42,000 more ballots, I should say. Pennsylvania, the Democrats have 387,000 more ballots that have been brought in, processed. 387,000 in Pennsylvania. The whole get out the vote in Pennsylvania did not work for the Republicans. Did not see the numbers. I'm sure some Republicans are disappointed. Yeah, they're going to say, Pennsylvania is a day of voting, and it is. But that's not a good number. Now, you also could say 2020, the Democrats had a million vote lead in the early voting. Different world, different place, COVID, different time. 387,000 lead for the Democrats for ballots. North Carolina, the Republicans continue to hold 46,000 ahead in North Carolina. Remember, the Republicans, independents, and Democrats, all the same amount of basically ballots that have been brought back. Now, let's get to I decided to dig in a little bit. I wanted to look at the comparison between, and by the way, you could do this on election night. Take your town, take any town that is kind of an average 50-50 town, bounces back and forth. Look at the scenario I'm about to tell you. Now, you could probably figure out who's going to be the winner. I know it's not exact science, and of course, it may not be correct in town to town, but this is something you can do. If you have an ability to pull up a newspaper or online, get on a website, and you just grab a local town, it could be your own town, it could be 2 towns over. Look at the 2016 results. Just, type it into Google, 2016 results, 2020 results, and of course, the 2024 results when they come in. You'll probably know who can win this race. And I'm going to break it down for you how it works. It's very easy. Let's look at the national numbers first. Remember, Hillary won by about 2.1% in 2016. Lost the election, 2.1% popular vote this is, but lost the election just by narrowly, right, in almost every state. Biden came in 2020, won by 4.5. So Biden gained, right? What's that? 2.4%. 2.4% nationally. Biden grew on Hillary's popular vote. And Biden narrowly won a lot of states by 0 point blank. So, what does this tell you? Trump in the polls, not real votes, is up around 0.4 or even, or if you look at real 538, it's 1.4 for Harris. Okay, so let's just use that 1.4 for Harris. If Harris gets 1.4, Hillary was at 2.1 and lost the battleground states by this much, by your hair, right? So Harris is below Hillary. Biden was above, doubled the numbers from Hillary on the popular vote. So you can see the movement that Biden did. Now let's go to Wisconsin. We're just going to do this for the battleground states. Trump won Wisconsin by 0.77%. Biden won by 0.63. Okay, Trump 0.77, Biden 0.63. We're talking 0.63. Okay, 0.77 for Trump. That is a Biden increase by 1.4%. Biden grew Wisconsin by 1.4, and it pushed him over the edge. So Harris has a lead in the polls of 0.2. So basically an even Steven match. Biden grew the number by 1.4% and won. Hillary did not win her race there. So if Hillary's going to drop now and gets 0.2, right? I mean, that would obviously put her over in Wisconsin, but in the poll. But let's say she needs to really any kind of difference there, right? You're going to start to see the popular vote feeding down to these states. So if her numbers are not big enough nationally, it may not match Wisconsin. So I want to just show you now the breakdown 16 to 20, how Biden beat Trump by doubling the popular vote, but then how that ate in. So the popular vote grew by 2.4%. Biden increased Wisconsin by 1.4%. Biden, remember in Michigan, Trump won it. Biden took it over in 20. Biden grew the delta between the two is about 2.93, about 3 points. That matches his popular vote growth. So Biden wins Michigan, takes over Michigan from Trump, but he won the popular vote by 2%, and gets Michigan by 2.93, 2.8. So now Pennsylvania, Trump won by 0.72. Biden wins by 1.17. Okay, so Biden only won by 1.17. The difference there is about 2 points. Are you seeing the trend? Are you seeing the trend here? Biden wins more popular vote by 2%, wins Wisconsin by 1.4, wins Michigan by 2.9, wins Pennsylvania by 2, right? So you can see how the popular vote feeds into these states. We go to North Carolina. Trump won by 3.66. Trump in 20 won it by 1.34. Now Biden gained on Trump in North Carolina, even though he didn't win. He gained by 2.32%. So again, Biden ate away Trump's vote again by 2%. And that is in North Carolina. Matches the national increase by 2.3%. Georgia, Trump won, if you remember, in 16 by 5 percentage points. Biden comes back, wins by 0.23. 0.23. That is a gain of Biden by 5 points. 5 points by Biden there. So it increased in the national by 2.x, increased it by 5 points in Georgia. Okay, so Biden did very well in Georgia. Can Harris match that? We go to Arizona. Trump won it by 3.54. Biden comes along and wins it by 0.3. 0.3. That's a difference of 3.8. Okay, so it increased there in Arizona by almost 4 points. Go to Nevada. Nevada won by Hillary by 2.42. 2.42. So you're expecting Biden here, right? To be even higher. No. Biden won by 2.39. So basically the same exact amount. So you can see now Nevada in 20, don't forget, Nevada was the only state in 22 that actually went the Republican way and could put a new governor in. So be careful of Nevada. Watch Nevada, especially if you're in the Democrats, because that is vulnerable. That is a state that didn't move in 20 from 16. Same score, even though Biden got higher. Same score. So I decided to dig a little deeper. I looked at West Virginia, which is a ginormous Trump state. Okay. So 16, he won by 42 points. Okay. What did he win in 20? By 38.9. It's a difference of 3 points. Trump lost 3 points in West Virginia. So you see it, right? You see it. Biden increases the popular vote. It feeds all the way down to Republican states. He lost 3%. So 3% loss for Trump from 20 to 16. What happened? Let's go. I flipped it then the other way. Let's look at Massachusetts, right? Hugely Democrat state. Clinton won by 27.5%. Biden won by 33.5. It's about a gain of 5 to 6 points. Okay, so it matches what Biden did. So we talk about how this could be a blowout. Either way, it's really true. If the polls are wrong and Harris is really up by 3 percentage points, these states could swing all the way. But if these numbers are true and Trump can maybe lose by a percentage point, it makes it very difficult for Harris in all these states to then lose these Biden numbers. Because let's go through the Biden victory again. Wisconsin, he won by 0.63. He won the popular vote by 4.5 points, but he only won Wisconsin by 0.63. What happens if Harris loses a percent off of that? Only wins by 3.5. That's probably a loss. Let's look at another state. A tight state. Biden only won by Pennsylvania by 1 point. Right? Only won by 1 point. Only won Georgia by 0.23. You see it. Harris cannot drop on this popular vote. He only won Arizona by 0.3. This is how tight this race was. We forget about it. It was a blowout electorally. But there's some tight races. Wisconsin, 0.63. Pennsylvania, 1. North Carolina, Trump won by 1. Georgia, Biden won by 0.23. Arizona by 0.3. So this is what I mean. The bleeding factor that's happened. Harris can still do well, can still hang in there if the polling numbers are off a little bit. And how many times have you heard me say it since 4 years ago? 4 years ago, I figured that if you could be at 4, it's a win for the Democrats. If you're at 3.5, it gets interesting. If it's at 2.5, look out. Hillary won by 2.1 and lost the blue wall. So you would have to think that Harris needs to be somewhere in that 2 to 2.34 range, right? You would think, if the numbers hold. Of course, that doesn't mean Trump can be more unpopular. Trump could lose more Republican votes this time. I think that's the Harris. We talked about it yesterday or 2 days ago. Her snaky way in, right, is women voters come up, which they have shown already in early voting. It's outnumbering the males, 55-45. Hey, guys, and nothing against you guys out there. The ladies are a lot better doing their homework, getting their homework in at school, right? They get everything done correctly. They hand it in faster than we do. It's neater. They like to vote early. Smart move by women. So not surprised to see a 55%, but if men don't come out hard the opposite way and match women, and remember, more women vote than men anyway. So men need to come out or Trump's going to lose. The women vote comes out, Harris wins. The inner city comes out, Harris wins. These combinations. But if it doesn't, it goes the opposite way. So I just wanted to show you that those real numbers and how it compares to our numbers right now, okay? And how Harris, that popular vote does matter. Let me finish up here with quickly. I'll take you through where we are in the Senate first. Remember, pretty much all these are Democrat seats. Ohio, Democrat seat. Brown leading by 1, the Democrat. Pennsylvania, Democrat seat. Casey leading by 2.6, the Democrat. Wisconsin, Baldwin holding on to a 0.8 lead there, the Democrat, to hold that seat. Michigan, Sluckin there now is down to 3.0. Still a good number, still a solid number. The Democrat hold. Montana, we're going to Sheehy out there, the Republican, looking to take Tester's seat, sitting at a 6.5 lead. You see how there's no polls out in Montana ever. You would think they'd be polling that place like crazy. Nevada, Rosen having no issue out there. Democrat for a Democrat seat at 4.6. Arizona, Gallego, no problem out there. The Democrat holding that seat at 4. And Cruz continues to lead at 4.1. You got to think Cruz slides in there. I may even take that off my list. Let me get you the national. Let me get you the states real quick. The averages of where we stand today. Pennsylvania, remember, this is real clear. So if you're a believer in 538 or you like Harris's number at 1 and 1.4 versus real clears, hey, you got to bump these numbers the opposite way. So, and maybe I'll look at those averages for real clear. I mean, for 538 tomorrow. Pennsylvania, real clear numbers. Trump 0.7. North Carolina, Trump 1. Georgia, Trump 2.7. Arizona, Trump 2.4. Wisconsin, Harris, we flipped it yesterday, 0.2. Michigan, Harris, 0.4. Nevada, Trump, 0.5. Guys, that gets you updated on some real number comparisons from 16 to 20 to now. I gave you the early voting. We went through the state polls. We've got the national number, which let me just get you the updated for that. I don't want to leave you hanging here. I think it was Trump 0.4. Trump 0.4 on the national lead. Okay. Oh, yep. And let me and 1.4 on 538. So just to review that again, 0.4 on real clear. Trump's got the lead, but remember, 538 includes more polls. 1.4 for Harris in the lead there, popular vote. Does she need to get that to 2? You would think so. You would think so. Do this in your town. Find your own town. Compare 16 and 20. You're going to see. I promise you'll see. 98% of the time, this is how it works. You're going to find a 2% change from Biden to Clinton or Trump to Trump. You'll see a Trump loss by 2 points or a Biden gain by 2 points if Hillary won it in 16. Take a look at it. Review that as soon as your polls close. Let's say your polls close at 7 p.m. on the East Coast. Look at those numbers. If Trump holds the numbers, it's probably about where we were last time. A tight race, but probably a Harris win. If Trump gains, look for a Trump victory. If it's a 1.5 gain, then that it probably spreads through the cities and the suburban areas throughout the country. These things match up. That's why we look at the real numbers and the polling numbers. Guys, I love you. I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good Halloween. Keep watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.